Vishal Manchanda of Nirmal Bang Securities. Vishal, a pleasure having you with us today on ET Now. So let's just get in your overall take on this. It's something that Lupin had been guiding and now it's come through. How important, how big, based on your assessment, is this drug for Lupin?
So this drug addresses a very large market. So based on the IMS number, the market is about $2.3 billion. But after accounting for rebates and discounts that these companies have to pay on the drug to the wholesalers, the actual target market is about $1 billion. And if we look at the competition, we have about 9 players in the space. So 3 players are innovators. There are 3 other authorized generics and 3 generic drugs which are approved by the USFDA. So among the ones that are approved by the USFDA, Lupin is the most recent entrant, and we saw Cipla entering ahead of Lupin some time back. And there is another player, Perrigo, from the US, which is also competing for a share of the pie. I think the Indian players, Cipla and Lupin, have an upper edge in terms of the ability to price it and basically sustain even at lower prices. So that is one advantage, and these guys have experience in producing such respiratory inhalers on a larger scale. So I think once the opportunity ramps up, I think it would be about $50 to $100 million sales opportunity, and it would be very sticky on the base. So unlike we see large opportunities scaling up and then coming off, we will not see that happening in case of albuterol sulfate. It will continue to be on the base, and it will be like it's a number that they can sustain for the next 10 years, basically. So pretty meaningful approval, and but it's in the earnings forecast largely for most brokers. So hence, we will not see an upgrade on the EPS.
Yes, that's true. So 50 to 100 million sales opportunity. Lupin had already been guiding for it because they were confident about this drug coming through, and more importantly, it's sticky on the base, which means these sales will sustain. It will not sort of taper off after year 1 of the approval. What sort of pricing pressure, Vishal, if any, do you witness? I know you mentioned that Lupin and Cipla will be the stronger guys because they will be able to take some pressure on the pricing. But do you anticipate any significant pricing pressure?
Yeah, so what I'm building here is about a 50% price erosion to the existing prices. And I think once that happens, the market share will consolidate in favor of Indian players at that level of price erosion.
Okay, 50% price erosion, and the market will consolidate then largely around, the 2 Indian players, Cipla and Lupin. I would like to understand what sort of margins as well do you think this product can build in? It's a complex drug, so it does carry high margins as well. So what are you penciling on that front?
A complex drug, but once we kind of model for the price erosion, we would see the basic EBITDA margins for the opportunity to be around, say, 55 to 60% for the Indian players, and it would be much higher than what the existing margin these companies report. So Lupin has an EBITDA margin in the range of 16 to 20%. Last quarter was not good for Lupin, but this is what they have been reporting so far. So it will be kind of margin accretive, significantly higher on the margins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You almost talk about 55%. That's definitely significantly higher. Like we've been talking, it's quite a complex drug. Do you think this is not just sort of a positive for Lupin, from the financials front, but also the fact that it proves Lupin's ability to be able to be in this space which require high intellectual abilities or high complexities? Do you think it sort of provides you some comfort on that front as well when it comes to Lupin?
Yeah, so it does validate their capabilities in developing inhalation assets which are device-based for the US markets. And Lupin has a pipeline of such assets that they are developing, and a few of them are also in the advanced stage. of apart from this Pro-Air, they have other filings also in the respiratory inhalation side. So I think with this approval coming through, there is a good chance they would be able to execute other approvals also. And these would also be kind of as attractive or even more attractive than what Pro-Air is. But I think in the near term, this is the large approval, and the other approvals should start probably we should see them happening in FY22 time frame. There's one large approval in Europe that they're expecting by end of this financial year. So we think even that should get executed, so this basically raises the confidence in the other approvals that are expected.
Great. Vishal, many thanks for joining us today, and just sort of sharing with us your take on this important drug approval that has come in for Lupin.